What's going on, guys? So the date today is August 20th, 2024. Going into the day, as you can see, price took the previous daily high. It came back into the range, and it didn't take out this previous low. It created equal lows. Price is currently chopping up around the previous daily high. Ideally, I would like to see price touch this 4-hour fair value gap so that we can take price higher. And then within that move up, I could potentially look for some sort of entry model. Same kind of thing on NQ. Price took the previous daily high, came outside the range, came back in, took out this low here from London session, is currently rejecting off the 4-hour fair value gap. Ideally, because we have such bullish price action, I would identify this model as buy model 1. So price took the previous daily high, came back within the range, reacting off some sort of PDRA just to take price higher, right? So, but because ES created these equal lows, I'm not comfortable taking longs. We have to see potentially what this may be. Right here, I see like an SMT high right here on ES and NQ, right? But this right here, I'm identifying as the trap, the reversal trap, right? So I'm assuming that price only created these SMTs to take price lower into this area, and I'm not going to get caught in this area, or I'm not going to be comfortable taking any shorts just because my overall bias is long. But potentially we could see price come back lower into the range, take out these equal lows, and this will be the manipulation move, and then we can start taking start trading higher. So that's ideally what I would like to see for the day. Okay, right now, so what I'm thinking, because we took this low on NQ, this to me is an indication of price moving lower, only because ES held. Alongside that, it also created equal lows, right? So right here, what could potentially happen is that ES could manipulate, create another SMT, NQ will hold, right? And then we could take price lower to target these lows and these equal lows, right? Obviously, I would like to see price go higher, right? But we also have to be able to adapt. Also, if you look at price on the higher time frame, on the daily, price created this little fair value gap right here that we could potentially be reacting off of, right? And on NQ as well, there is this fair value gap here. Ideally, still, I would like to see price go higher, right? This also could just be our manipulation move, and this could be as well. Ideally, I would like to see this push up, though, is our manipulation move. I have to be able to adapt accordingly, but also commit to my bias. So we'll just have to see. Because currently right here, price just created an SMT. So this could be our manipulation. And honestly, I like this because because NQ did want to bring price lower, right? And this created equal low. So this could potentially be our manipulation, unless price wants to come down another time, and that would be our manipulation. And that would be ideal because we have yet to tap into this 4-hour fair value gap on ES. So ideally, I would like to see price come lower and then move higher. The only thing that is kind of showing me bearish price action is this SMT right here. The fact that this manipulated and took this low, and this one held and created equal lows, because this is liquidity buildup, and this is showing a sign of weakness. So at these lows is the only kind of reason that I believe price could potentially go down. So now that I'm looking at price, this move up could potentially be our manipulation. If we take out this high, this manipulates and this holds, then I potentially could be looking for shorts. And understand as well, like, it's not that I'm just switching my bias. You also have to be able to adapt to the market. Okay, so this right here could potentially be an SMT. That's only if on NQ it doesn't break this high. Okay, so now we're getting a push down. This could potentially be our sells to these lows. Or hopefully, ideally, I would like to see this create some manipulation and then we go higher again. Okay, so right now, I think that I'm able to identify this is my target, this is the manipulation, and now we just need an entry. So I'm honestly looking into shorts now, but I'm not gonna force it. I'm only taking shorts if my entry model is dumb clear. Like it has to be all confirmations, everything, all the variables need to be there. Only because I do want to take price higher, but I am seeing this micro model on the 5 minute, so price could potentially just take out these lows and then continue higher, right? But it is evident that this is manipulation. This is definitely a target. This is definitely a target. This is manipulation as well. I just need to see an entry model now. So as I was saying, SMT here, equal low target, right? And obviously as you can see, the target objective has been hit, right? Obviously this was, as I said, this was like a micro cell model, right? But now that we've taken the equal lows, hopefully this could be our manipulation now. Ideally, if ES takes this low, manipulates and takes this low, and NQ holds, then I'll be a lot more confident now in taking longs, especially since we tapped into this 4-hour fair value gap. So I was able to identify this micro model. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to capitalize on it, and I was right. But this wasn't the move I was looking for. The move to the upside is the move that I will be looking for. So we'll just have to see what happens now. So now the new bias for me would be equal lows taken, price tap into the 4-hour fair value gap. So this is the manipulation move. Potential SMT at the lows here, right? And then the highs would just be my target. Simple as that. And then so now I expect price to chop up a bit, print some more price action, and hopefully I can get more conviction to take long positions back to the highs. Alright guys, so NQ just took out the low. If it continues to go down, I'm honestly not comfortable taking shorts just because we're also in a 4-hour fair value gap. I can see why we would move lower because we are rejecting off of this daily fair value gap, right? And now the candle flipped. So I can see why we would, but me personally, I wouldn't be too comfortable taking shorts. I feel like this move is already done, right? Like that step down is already done. We manipulated here and here. So we could be reacting off this 4-hour fair value gap now to take price higher. But yeah, if price flips to the downside, I won't be comfortable taking any shorts because I don't really have like an identified target for sure, right? Like it's just a bunch of imbalance, right? But because we have such strong buying pressure, yeah, I ideally would not be looking to take any shorts. Alright, so currently because we're in an area where I want to buy, I will be scouting for my SMT buy model, right? So right here we created equal highs, and right here we made a lower high, right? So ideally I would have liked to see this one take out this high, but because we weren't even close to taking out this high, this could potentially be an SMT trap, right? So ideally what I would like to see is price manipulate here, NQ hold structure, take a high, create a breaker structure, and then we could probably retrace to some breaker, and then I'd like to take price back to the upside. So yeah, we could be manipulating here. Hopefully this is a manipulation. NQ's holding right here. If we take some sort of high here, this high or this high, and we create a breaker, potentially we could then take some longs to the upside. Probably ideally 1 to 2 because we're on the 15-second. We don't want to hold the trade too long. It could also just be another micro model, right? I would like this to be the manipulation of the day though, but we'll just have to adapt and see, because now price took the price took this low on NQ as well. So just gotta be patient again. Okay, so now that I see this push move downward, right, this is probably the model for today, right? We created the manipulation on ES, created equal lows, targeted that, right? So I did identify this sell model when it did play out, as you guys saw in the video, right? It does make sense why price is going down. We are rejecting off of a daily fair value gap. We also did just take this weekly high. Price is in a very overbought market currently. It's in a really high premium, so I can see why we need to bring price back down lower. Another thing why I wasn't comfortable taking any shorts is because we have these 4-hour fair value gaps. We also did just take the high. So my usual model is break the previous daily high, come back within the range. There is a 4-hour fair value gap, so I did have incentive to take buys, right? But because we created this SMT here, this is SMT sell model coupled with rejecting off of a bearish daily fair value gap, and we're also in a very overbought premium market. Alongside that, we also just took liquidity right here on the weekly. So I can see why we went lower. I was able to identify why we did go lower, but me personally, I just was not comfortable taking shorts because we had this 4-hour fair value gap here and because of all the bullish pressure. So this should be the session pretty much. Not a bad session at all, right? We didn't take a loss. We were able to identify every single move. So this was a pretty good session, I would say. We were able to identify the moves that were happening. Obviously, we weren't comfortable taking them. We ended the day off, no loss, no profit, so that's a win. Alongside that, regulated emotions very well, right? Sat on hands, was patient, you know. So this was one step in the direction for building good habits. And yeah, that should be the trading session for today. Peace and love. Okay, so I did stop recording, but Price is currently printing something that I potentially might want to get into. So here, Price is showing an SMT. Right here, Price is holding. This took the high. This one didn't. So this could potentially be a manipulation move. If we do see one of these highs get taken, it could form a breaker block, and we potentially could see some sort of entry model to take Price back to the high, right? So this retracement move could be finished, and now we could potentially be seeing Price back to the upside. So we'll just have to see what happens. All right, chat, I'll be back. I'm about to go get a coffee. Right now, I'm gonna put 3 contracts on this. Or 4.
Order filled.
This could potentially be the SMT sell trap because, yeah, this might be an area where I would want to buy. Or sorry, in an area I'd want to sell. And I could potentially be getting caught in that trap right now. Just because we're bearish, I understand that Price is trying to move lower, right? So this trap will become present in areas you would want to sell. So if I would want to sell right here, there is this model right here that I've created. And yeah, no, honestly, I could just be getting caught in the trap right now. Yeah, ideally, I'd like to get out of this. But the reasons for longs is because we are in a 4-hour fair value gap. And I do want to see Price go higher. So because when we entered this fair value gap, we created this SMT at the low and this SMT here. I did want to see Price come higher, but now that I see this, we're rejecting off this breaker right here. So yeah. So that was the trap, pretty much. But now this could potentially be the manipulation. Yeah, honestly, this is a really nice model though, because we took the high here. So this is target, right? Yeah, this high is definitely target. This is manipulation for sure. So I definitely feel like I could jump back in here. Just because my upside target is going to be all of this right here, I am going to wait for some sort of break of structure and then enter off the breaker. I'm not going to rush this. I'll close that because just so we could cushion the loss that we took earlier. If Price doesn't come back down, it is what it is. We took a small loss, but overall for the day, you guys know, and it is evident, and I've shown it and I've proved it through this whole, through all the price action throughout today. Like, I walked through it with you guys, what I thought and it happened, where I went wrong and it happened, and what I anticipated and it happened. So I can't be capping about this. You guys seen me call everything live, so it is what it is.
Order filled.
So currently, I don't like the rejection we got or the closure we got here. I understand price displaced way above this, right? And we did retrace back. And there is a fair value gap right here, right? So this could be potentially where we go up from as well. There is this inversion right here, right? But because we broke out and this is the high, I'm not super comfortable taking it there. And I would just want to target internal. But this also could be another trap where it shows an SMT buy model in an area where where you would want to sell. And because we did have this move down, today could be a selling day, and we potentially just could have gotten caught again. But if once this hits break even, I'm gonna just close up the trade and I'm gonna be done for the day pretty much.
Order filled.
The longs are valid, right? Because we are in my 4-hour fair value gap that I did anticipate. But because it just seems like an area where we would want to sell, I'm just not comfortable with taking the longs. So I'm just going to sit out for the rest of the day. I'm done. I'm officially done now, the session today. So, all right, what's going on, guys? So I'm just going to do a quick recap of a trade that I seen after I left my desk. So it is currently 9:04 p.m. So referring to my original bias from the day that I mentioned earlier in the video was I wanted to see price take this previous daily high, come into the range, reject off this 4-hour fair value gap to take price higher. So around 1 o'clock, price manipulated down, took out this low, and at one same time, NQ, it held structure from this low. So that created an SMT here, right? So knowing this and seeing this and knowing my models, this is an SMT buy model because I have a bullish bias. I have bullish order flow, prices within my 4-hour fair value gap, and I want to take price higher. So seeing this SMT here, I was interested in taking longs, but because I was away from my desk, I wasn't able to take any entries. So from here, I marked this up, right? And if you go down on the 1 minute, we have this SMT right here as well. So this is where I would have entered from. So from this low to this low, and then this low to this low created an SMT, right? So seeing this, and if you go on the 5 minute as well, there's also a fair value gap that was created. So if I put the entry at 50% of this and stop loss at the low, targeting the high of that range, this trade would have been a 1 to 4.8, so 1 to 5 almost, right? I pretty much seen this trade right when I left my desk. I looked at the charts when I was driving to the gym, and then I seen this move while I was at the gym, but obviously I wasn't able to calculate my risk properly, so I was unable to enter. The reason I walked away from the charts at 1 was because obviously 1 is kind of out of the session, and I was also very active throughout the day. So I personally just didn't want to risk any more on my account, even though this was the setup that I was waiting for. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to capitalize on it. It is what it is. I'm just glad that I was able to adapt and identify the price action that was being printed throughout the session. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for the day. I'll see y'all again tomorrow.